Namaskar. Today I will speak about how to allocate our energy, time and resources. What are the priorities? Why? Why is it important? Because the most important thing in life depends on that. And what is that most important thing? Happiness, satisfaction. If you are properly spending your energy, time, resources, you will be satisfied. Out of satisfaction comes welfare. If you are dissatisfied, you will be blaming others, hurt others, you will try to hurt others because you feel pain inside. You will project your unhappiness on others. Maybe he is to blame or she is to blame. Or you will do crazy things like, oh, I'm so unhappy, maybe I should get married. Marriage is multiplication. But unhappiness multiplied by 2 becomes greater unhappiness. And happiness multiplied by 2 becomes greater happiness. So nobody can make you happy. Nothing and nobody can make you happy. Only yourself. Only you. You yourself, you can make yourself happy. But what is the root of happiness? Why do we become happy? It is in human nature. I can describe the basis of happiness with one word. Can you guess? What word is that? When you really feel happy. When do you really feel that? One word describes that. Progress. When there is a movement from imperfection to perfection, when there is this slide, when there is a shift, at that exact moment of shifting, exact moment of sliding, at that moment, as if light sparkles within you. There is a spark, there is a quant of energy awakened in you. Whether it is in physical or intellectual or spiritual. In any of those areas, you move, you slide, you shift, you make a step up. At that moment, you feel happiness. Just like a light. Just like a light. And let's say you live 100 years, maybe now, with all the modern medicine, we are going to live 200 years, who knows? So in those 100 years, how much illuminated your life is? It depends on the progress. If you do every day a progress, a movement, a shift, however small it is, you get those quants of light, you get those photons, you get those sparkles, you get those fires in your life. And your life is illuminated. In spiritual philosophy, it is also described that there is a force. The 2 forces are there acting on consciousness. One is called Vidyamaya, the force of knowledge. Another one is called Avidyamaya, force of ignorance. So force of knowledge is something, how it acts. There are 2. One is Sambit Shakti, another one is Hladini Shakti. Sambit means awakening. Suddenly, just a spark in your mind. Okay, now I see the way. I am going to do that. From today on, I will start running. I will exercise. You suddenly saw that, okay, I must do this. And it comes with inspiration. There is a knowledge, I have to do this, and at the same time there is an inspiration. There is an energy behind that. Yes. Do you recognize that? And then when you are consistent with that understanding, you understood something, now you are trying to implement it in life, then the force of bliss acts, Hladini Shakti. and you're happy. And avidya is similar. It's you don't see the path, and then you move towards retardation. You are not progressing, you are regressing. And that is the force of suffering. That is the suffering. So progress is the only thing that really deeply makes us happy. We may think that, okay, happiness is a comfort. But 10,000 years ago, people were primitive. Do you think they all were unhappy? I think they were happy. Some would complain, we sit in the cave and complain, what life is this? What kind of cave is this? Look at the neighboring tribe. That is the cave, that's the proper cave. But some people were happier also. It depends on the nature, it depends on the approach that person takes in life. So to achieve progress, what is the first and foremost thing? You need to have energy to grow. That energy of growth, what is the other word for it? It is inspiration. Inspirational energy. Most important. Most important. If you have that one, it will manifest in intellectual progress and it will manifest in physical progress also. That inspiration you get by attempting to move in the spiritual area, in the spiritual sphere. So inspiration is most important. How you get inspiration, how you get that is a mysterious thing. It's spiritual. So you get it by meditation. You do meditation if you concentrate hard enough. You do it regularly with utmost sincerity. The result is inspiration. The doors and windows of the mind gets opened. And suddenly you see the light, you see the path. That's a beautiful thing. This is what is the life. Just suddenly you see, okay, I know. We will build a house. You get inspiration. If you get inspiration, you will build a house. If you get inspiration to get a profession, you will get a profession. If you get inspiration to earn money, you will earn money. If you get inspiration to serve society, you will serve society. Everything starts from that. And if you have all the resources, but inspiration is lacking, you cannot do anything. So this is the first thing, the inspiration. And it comes from the word inspiration. 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 You, not expiration, not from outside, but from inside. So you have to go inside to become inspired. You go to the spirit, to the spiritual sadhana, spiritual effort, and then you will have inspiration. And then it will come to intellectual, and then it will come to physical. I remember. Now, okay, you will object. Dada, I have couple of jobs, I have my loans to pay, I have my wife, I have my family. When do I have time to meditate? And I will object to you. Do you like that? Do you like that you do so many things, but you're not actually satisfied because you are not making progress? A squirrel in the wheel runs all day, nothing happens. So squirrel is very restless animal. It's just like, it doesn't understand. It cannot stop and think, oh, I'm in a sorry situation. I'm the squirrel in the wheel. So we do so many things. I also do so many things. I also am busy. But with so many things, you still can progress. It's the question of priority. You can eat less. You can drink less. You may not buy shoes. You may not wear some nice clothes. But you must allocate time and energy and resources for your progress. Most importantly, spiritual progress. Because from that, energy is generated to maintain everything else. To remain in one position, you need to run. Just like Alice in the Wonderland. But to move from one spot to another, you need to run twice faster. So even to maintain, you must have inspiration. But to progress, you must have double inspiration. So first and foremost, spiritual practice, your meditation. Collective meditation is wonderful because in individual meditation you do, it helps very much. But collective meditation really, it just breaks all the windows and doors open. And there is one song, it says, Apun porir probhede bolai dwar batayan halokola ekon shudhui egiye chola bhule bhiti laje lilai bhuvon nache. Upon porer probhet bholai. The difference between me and the universe has disappeared. Probhet bholai, I forgot. I have forgotten that. There is no difference. There is no difference. I'm not small anymore. I'm connected with infinity. Probhet bholai. Dvar batoyon, I love this line. Dvar batoyon holok hola. The doors and windows, they slammed open. They just, like this. Ekon shudhui egiye chola. What remains is only to move ahead, is only to progress. Bhole bhiti laje, forgetting fear and shame. There is nothing remains. There is nothing stops, nothing is stopping me anymore. I am destined for the greatest success in life. So this feeling is important. The feeling. It's not intellectual. It is the feeling. The difference between a successful person and unsuccessful person is not intellectual. You may know so many things. It's nothing to do with intellect. It's about feeling. It's about inner desire. If you desire, then you get. The problem is how to desire. If you really want something, you will get it. But how to want? For that you need spiritual energy. To awaken that desire in a good sense. There are desires also degrading, depraving desires. But desire in the sense of inspiration, that's the great. I remember one time, I actually wanted, my whole life I wanted to be what I am, a teacher of meditation. But it's, so many restrictions are there, so many rules of conduct are there. So I was talking to one senior teacher, I say, Dada, I want, but I don't know if I can or not. I feel I'm weak. I'm not strong enough like you to follow that path. And he said, do you really want? And I searched myself. I said, yes, I do. I do. I do want. He said, beautiful, beautiful sentence, beautiful words that guided me my whole life. He said, if you want and He wants. There cannot be anything that can stop you. Nothing can stop, but you have to make sure that you really want it. So it applies everywhere. If you really do you want? Do you want? You do? If you do, you will have it. The problem is that nobody wants. That is energy. Energy is lacking. Energy is wasted in meaningless things. And there is no real desire inside. That there is another beautiful song. Shuli jara prate shishire dhova pote nam na jana elikari tore. In the morning, on the road, which is covered with the flowers of the night jasmine. There is one tree in India. It in the night it blooms, and then by the morning the flowers just cover in the, just like a snow, covering the earth. So beautiful setting. In the morning, on the path, covered with that, with the golden, what you call it, dew, and with this night jasmine, came somebody whose name I don't know. I don't know why. And then Shishir kashirangi mononir kurongi neche chuti jai duri shudure kala kaler badhamanona upalopote jetithamona konikeir vishramnaona takobol godore. Oh, such a beautiful. Sheshir kasher ronge, of the golden color, mononer kuronge. The deer of my mind, of my soul, my inner being, you know, the deer of my inner being. Mononer kuronge, neche chuti jai. Dancing, while dancing, it moves. Duri shudure, farther and farther. You just imagine that. Your soul, just like a deer, the golden deer, dancing and runs farther and farther. And then next, beautiful line. Kala kaler badhamanona upalopote jetetamona. The bondage of time and space, it did not accept. I have not accepted my physical limitations. I have not accepted my limitations. No. These borders, these boundaries, no, I don't agree. I'm going to break them. I'm going to be free. Kala kaler badhamanona upalopote. On the rocky path, on the difficult path, upalopote jetithamona didn't stop to move. On this rocky path, didn't stop to move. Koniker vishamnaona, even for a moment I didn't stop. I did not stop. Why? Because of my inspiration. I could not stop. Why can I stop? I always pushed forward, on and on and on and on I pushed. Upalopote jetithamona koniki vishamnaona tako bolgodore. And the rain was always tight. And then now it's also very, very beautiful. Tomayami bhalobashi. Tomayami bhalobashi. Pranetane chutejeashi. Poloke kadi, poloke hashi. Tako priti rodore. I love you. Means, oh supreme entity, oh the source of my inspiration. I love you. Why? Why do I love you? I love you for the fast running of my heart, for my intention, for my movement, for my inspiration. I love you for that. Polo kikadi, polo kihashi. Sometimes I cry, sometimes I laugh, bound by the thread of love, by the strings of love. So this is one beautiful song about oh existence, oh supreme being, oh highest existence. I love you. Why? Because of my inspiration, because of my running, because my soul has that energy to move ahead. I love you for that. What a beautiful thing. So, okay, you may say that, okay, it's beautiful, Dada, you are very poetic, but I have the wife to care, I have children, I have this job, I have that job, and I'm so tired, I cannot find. You find? You have to find, because this is the most important. Otherwise you remain in that state, stuck. When I learned meditation in my dream, I learned meditation, and I saw in my dream, I saw my spiritual teacher, my guru. And he was standing, and I was in a swamp. And I was like this, in a swamp, totally paralyzed. There was a movement, no movement. And he was just in the center of that swamp, and he was standing on the hard soil. And he was just standing and calling me to him. And I started to move like this, rounds and rounds around him. So kind of spiraling towards him. And he was calling me, come, come. And as I was spiraling around him, and he is a symbol obviously of the Supreme. He is the symbol of yoga, unity. So as I was spiraling, coming closer to the center, and he is also a symbol of myself, of my soul. So I'm coming around. And as I come around, I come out of the mud. And then I come to him, I'm totally out of the mud. Then I hug him, then I woke up. So that's what happens. You allocate your time, energy for meditation. That will give you energy for growth, the inspiration. Otherwise, operational work, we do day-to-day things, we are so busy, we don't have time to progress. But we are here to progress. I was in the monastery. I thought I will come there to study, to meditate, and we did meditation all right. But studying, and I had deep desire to study, there was no time. We always, fixing the roof, changing the heating system, doing so-called karma yoga, or work, the labor. So every day busy, so tired. And I'm so frustrated. I'm not studying. I want to learn philosophy. I want to really understand. And I want to be able to tell others, to explain others. I told to my friend, I said, I'm very frustrated because we are not studying here. We are only working. I didn't come here to become a laborer. I want to study. And then he said, this training is tailored for every one of us individually. So you are getting exactly what you need. You're getting exactly the experience that you need. I was not satisfied that time, but I became a little bit more consoled. But then I had this desire to study. So I had only 15 minutes a day to read before sleeping. 15 minutes I would read, then I sleep. And then I would memorize one Sanskrit shloka, Sanskrit verse, committed to memory. And I would write it down in one postcard, and next day, during the work, I would take it out and repeat it. Take out, repeat. Till now I remember, it was 15 years ago, but till now I remember those things. And I passed all my exams perfectly. There was no problem. So those 15 minutes a day enabled me what I'm doing now. All the spiritual philosophy, all the wisdoms comes from that 15 minutes a day. But why this happened? Many people have so many more than 15 minutes. Why this happened? It is important to understand why this have happened. Because of spiritual energy. We have books, we have internet. Who is studying? Because I don't want. But when I want, I do. So the most important is this I want, is a spiritual thing. I want. And we did meditation. We did morning 5 o'clock till 8 we sit and we meditate. And then I had such a boiling inside energy. I was feeling like when I was studying the social philosophy of my guru, the ideas about economics, the ideas about society, how the society should be made, I found it so humanistic, so kind, so rational. I was just like feeling like, let me out of here. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to, that inner feeling of invincibility, that I can do anything and everything, that was there. To my mind comes this Swami Vivekananda in India. He was an okay monk. He was not anything extraordinary. But then he did one great meditation in Kanyakumari, in one rock actually, one kind of island. And there he did, and he went into samadhi, into the trance. And from that he came as a transformed being, like a Gandalf the White, no? He came with energy. Before he was a normal, ordinary monk, nothing special. Then he got an experience. And he became basically a father of modern India. He transformed the entire culture, affected very much on the culture. His effect on culture was great. He came to America. He was the first to bring yoga and meditation, all this Indian culture. And in the Congress of Religions, he was addressing the people, my brothers and sisters of America. And then everybody was at such a charge going on of energy, everybody stood up and applauded. So you see, spiritual energy, most important. So whatever happens, you must allocate time and energy for that, to get the energy for growth. Even at the expense, even if you have to suffer, even you have to deny yourself something, that is the first. If that will have, you will have desire inside, the desire to progress. If you have the desire to progress, you will progress. And tomorrow will be better than today. Even today, the business gurus, they also say, like money, don't spend every money on food and medical and your rent. If you spend like that, it's not good. Better you starve, but you put some money for the emergency fund and some money for your development, for your studies, for your future. So that's very important. So in the same way, it works in every area. We have to progress in spiritual area. We have to progress in intellectual area. We have to progress in physical area also. So, and it all starts from meditation. It all starts from spiritual, from the connection with the soul. Connect. Today can be the day of your transformation. Today, you sit today after this video, you sit and you do 15 minutes or 5 even minutes with sincere concentration. You focus, you go inside, repeat the mantra, meditate. Today is the day of your golden era. Today. It can be today if you sit and do. And it will be, I guarantee you. From today, the new life is going to start. Because You are now in touch with perennial source of inspiration. And if you are inspired, if you want, and he wants, who can stop you? You are unstoppable. You are the great personality in the making. And our 100 years of life, or 200 years of life, it doesn't matter, 100 or 200. What matters, how illuminated your life is, how much light is there. So every shift, every slide, every movement forward produce a quant of energy, produce the spark of light, which is happiness. And it makes you happy, and it makes everybody else around you also happy. Because only a happy person is creating happiness. Unhappy creates unhappiness. So this is the first and foremost. Yeah, write in the comments, please, what you think about it, whether you have meditated or not. I wish you do. I really deeply wish you the success, the greatest satisfaction in life. Namaskar.